If you had the chance to bring your camera anywhere in the world, where would you go? There are many beautiful places in the world for photography, and many photographers are lucky enough to have the time and resources to travel to every single one of them. But even if you don't have the option of trotting the globe all year round searching for new and stunning views to immortalize with your camera, you can still have to be a bit more selective with the places you visit. We've come up with a list of some of the best places to photograph from all around the world. Whether you want to do some landscape photography, nature photography, astrophotography, or even street photography, here are some places that you'll want to include your travel photography bucket list. Let's have the list of the charming places to photography in. Rome, Italy. Rome is one of my all-time favorite photography destinations on the planet. The Eternal City is not only a delight for the camera, but it's also packed full of fascinating historical architecture and cultural heritage that make it the perfect place for photographers and travelers alike. With so many great spots to photograph, I feel like I could spend years in Rome and still barely scratch the surface of its potential. It's also the starting point of our Italy Dream Photo Tour. 2. Santorini, Greece. Santorini is an island in the South Aegean Sea that is often considered to be one of the most romantic places in the world. The town of Oia boasts one of the most beautiful sunsets on the planet. Late each afternoon, hundreds of people gather to watch the spectacle of light as the sun dips below the watery horizon. Once it sets, the entire crowd explodes in cheers and applause. There's just something magical about the quality of light in Santorini. It's difficult to explain precisely, but it is the kind of light that artists dream of capturing. You'll just have to see it for yourself. 3. Tekapo, New Zealand. Ever since the first Lord of the Rings movie, New Zealand has exploded in popularity with the travel community. My advice for photographers who visit Middle-earth is to plan as much time there as possible. The islands may look small on a map, but the more you drive and explore, the more you'll begin to realize the enormous wealth of inspiration and photography opportunities at your fingertips. If you're into stargazing and want to photograph the Milky Way, head towards Lake Tekapo. The entire area is protected as part of the Dark Sky Reserve. On the shore of the lake near the little town, you'll find the Church of the Good Shepherd, so perfectly positioned that you'll swear it was put there just for photographers. 4. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. As far as famous sunrise spots go, the reflection of Angkor Wat definitely tops my all-time favorites. When colors start to dance above the ancient temple spires, the fatigue from a severely early wake-up call is replaced by pure fascination and delight. After you have this one in the bag, make sure to explore and photograph the other amazing temples around the Angkor Temple complex in Siem Reap. My favorite time to visit is between November and February, when you'll experience cooler than usual temperatures. Just make sure you get to the temples early so you can experience them on your own. 5. Petra, Jordan. Watching the adventures of Indiana Jones as a kid, I was fascinated with the ancient architectural site of Petra, Jordan. There are few places in the world that are this inspiring to experience with your own eyes. Even more amazing is the fact that they light up the treasury a few times a week for an event called Petra by Night. Make sure you don't forget your tripod you'll want with you to capture night photography of this truly stunning event. 6. Tuscany, Italy. I know that I've already mentioned one location in Italy, but I just can't help myself. I've never found another country that has so many amazing places to visit and photograph. Tuscany is no exception. In fact, I would venture to say that it's one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. Although, to be honest, that could just be all of the delicious food and red wine talking. 7. Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park, Indonesia. One of my biggest dreams is to leave Earth and explore far and distant worlds, but I'm fairly certain that it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Thankfully, there are places on our planet that feel so foreign and so alien that it feels like you're standing on another planet. In the summertime, this cold air fills with swirling ground fog, and if you get to the viewpoint early enough, you can be all alone under the stars in the incredible landscape. 8. Marina Bay, Singapore. I think it's about time I introduce some modern architecture into the mix here, and Singapore is the perfect place to start. Personally, I love shooting Singapore, and you'll find that most of the great photography opportunities are concentrated around Marina Bay and the small central business district. At night, this city really comes alive with beautiful lights and a regularly scheduled laser light show. I photographed the spectacle from many different angles, but my favorite vantage point is definitely from the area around the Merlion looking towards Marina Bay Sands. 9. Mt. Fuji, Japan. Each season in Japan is distinctly different, and photographically there are countless options to choose from, but I'd have to say that I love visiting in spring the most. This is because the blooming cherry blossoms are not only a phenomenal photography subject, but they've also been cherished by the Japanese for hundreds of years. In their country, the cherry blossoms represent the fragility of life and serve as a reminder that life can be overwhelmingly beautiful, but can also be tragically short. Since the blooming period can only last a few days, this makes capturing them in the peak of their bloom even more special. It's a time of great celebration for the Japanese, which makes being there during this time period a wonderful life experience. 10. Hallstatt, Austria. Often called the Pearl of Austria, the words picture perfect certainly come to mind when I think of Hallstatt. It's rare to find a place that is this easy to photograph and a town that is this wonderful to spend time in as well. Photographically, there's really no wrong answer here, and no matter what time of day you visit, this little village is exquisite. So what are you waiting for? These most beautiful places in the world for photography are waiting for you to book that ticket and start packing for your next trip. Happy photography!